Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report, your home for all the latest updates, breaking news, and exclusive insider information about our beloved Detroit Lions. I'm here to bring you the most detailed analysis and the fastest updates on everything happening with this franchise. And trust me when I say today's report is going to make you rethink everything you thought you knew about our offensive strategy moving forward. Something massive is brewing in Allen Park, and the implications could completely reshape our championship aspirations for the season and beyond. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because you're not going to want to miss a single update I bring you this week. Let me paint you a picture. The Lions have been on an absolute tear, dominating opponents and showing the entire league that Detroit football is back and better than ever. But here's the reality that every serious championship contender faces. Winning in this league requires more than just talent. It demands depth. It demands elite execution at every single position. And, most importantly, it demands the ability to protect your franchise quarterback and open up lanes for your explosive running game. And right now I'm seeing developments that suggest Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are about to make a statement that will send shockwaves through the entire NFL. Stay with me, because the details I'm about to share will blow your mind. Christian Mahogany going down with that broken ankle in Week 9 against Minnesota was a gut punch. When Dan Campbell came out and said Mahogany would be sidelined for a long time, every Lions fan felt that weight. Our offensive line, which has been the foundation of everything we do, suddenly looked vulnerable. Now, the team did bring in rookie guard Jack Conley to the practice squad, and there's talk about sliding Tristan Colin or Kingsley Igwekun into starting roles. But let me be real with you. Those are developmental players, guys with potential, but not the proven battle-tested veterans you want protecting Jared Goff when we're making a deep playoff push. Here's where things get interesting, and I need you to pay close attention because this is where the story takes a turn that nobody saw coming. The Cleveland Browns have been one of the most interesting teams to watch this season, not because of their performance, but because of their roster situation. They've got talent, they've got Pro Bowl caliber players, but they're in a position where they might need to make some difficult decisions about their future. And when a team like that starts evaluating their options, that's when savvy front offices like ours start making phone calls. Now let me take you back to what makes our offensive line so special when it's at full strength. The past 2 years, we've had one of the most dominant units in football. We've been able to run the ball down opponents' throats, we've given Goff time to pick apart defenses, and we've set the tone physically on every single snap. That's the identity Dan Campbell wants, that's the identity this city deserves, and that's the identity that wins championships in January and February. But to maintain that identity, especially with injuries hitting us, we need to think bigger than just shuffling practice squad players into starting roles. I've been doing some digging, connecting some dots, and looking at the landscape of available talent across the league. And two names keep coming up in conversations about elite offensive line play. Two guards who have been absolute walls in pass protection, two players who have consistently graded among the best at their position, two guys who have multiple Pro Bowl selections and have proven they can perform at the highest level year after year. And here's the kicker, they're both on a Browns team that might be willing to part with veteran talent as they look toward their own future. Joel Bitonio and Wyatt Teller, those are the names I'm talking about. And before you tell me it's impossible, before you say the Browns would never do it, let me walk you through exactly why this makes sense for everyone involved and why Brad Holmes might be putting together a package right now that could bring one or both of these elite guards to Detroit. Bitonio is a 6-time Pro Bowler, a technician in pass protection who brings leadership and consistency. Teller is a mauler in the run game, a physical specimen who opens up holes that running backs can drive trucks through. Together they've formed one of the best guard tandems in the entire NFL over the past several seasons. Think about what that would mean for our offense. Imagine Penei Sewell on the right side, Frank Ragnow anchoring the center position, and then you plug in Bitonio and Teller on the left side. That's not just an offensive line. That's a complete fortress. That's the kind of unit that allows Jahmyr Gibbs to average 6 yards per carry. That's the kind of protection that turns Jared Goff into an MVP candidate because he's got all day to throw. That's the kind of physicality that breaks opponents' will by the fourth quarter because they've been getting pushed around for 3 hours straight. Now, I know some of you are thinking about the cost. What would it take to acquire one or both of these players? Here's my analysis based on how these deals typically work. Bitonio is 33 years old, so while he's still playing at an elite level, his contract situation and age make him more affordable than a younger player. Teller is 29, right in his prime, which might make him slightly more expensive. But here's the thing. The Browns are sitting at a crossroads, and if they're willing to listen to offers, Brad Holmes has the draft capital and the creative contract structuring ability to make something happen. Look at our cap situation. We've managed it beautifully over the past few years, and we've got flexibility to make a win-now move. And make no mistake, acquiring Bitonio, Teller, or both would be the ultimate win-now move. This isn't about building for 3 years from now. This is about recognizing that we have a championship window open right now, that we have the roster to compete with anyone in this league, and that 1 or 2 strategic additions could be the difference between a deep playoff run and hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. The strategic fit is absolutely perfect. Dan Campbell's offense is built on physicality and running the football to set up play action. Ben Johnson, our offensive coordinator, who's been getting head coaching interest from multiple teams, designs plays that work best when the offensive line can sustain blocks and create movement. Everything we do starts up front, and adding Pro Bowl caliber guards would elevate every single aspect of our offense. Amon-Ra St. Brown would have even more space to work on those crossing routes. Sam Laporta would benefit from better protection, allowing deeper developing plays. Our entire offensive ecosystem would improve. Let me also address the chemistry factor because I know that's always a concern when you bring in veteran players mid-season or during the off-season. Both Bitonio and Teller are professionals who have played in big games, who understand what it takes to win, and who would fit seamlessly into our locker room culture. Frank Ragnow is one of the best leaders in this league, and having guys like Bitonio who bring that same veteran presence would only strengthen our offensive line room. These aren't projects. These aren't players who need to be taught how to play in the NFL. These are finished products who would step in and immediately make us better. I've also been looking at the Browns' situation more closely, and here's why they might actually be motivated to make a deal. They're in salary cap discussions. They have younger players they're trying to develop, and moving veteran contracts could give them flexibility to reshape their roster. It's not that Bitonio and Teller aren't valuable to them. It's that every team has to make tough decisions, and if the right offer comes along, sometimes those decisions become easier. Brad Holmes has built relationships across the league. He's proven he's willing to be aggressive when the opportunity is right, and he understands that championship windows don't stay open forever. This is exactly the type of move that would align with everything we've seen from this front office. They traded for Zadarius Smith last year at the deadline because they identified a need and went after a solution. They've been proactive, they've been bold, and they've shown they're committed to winning now, while Jared Goff is playing at this level, while our defense is this good, while everything is clicking. Adding Bitonio and Teller would be that same philosophy taken to another level. So here's what I'm watching for in the coming weeks: free agency conversations, potential trade discussions, and any signals from the organization about their plans to address the offensive line. The Mahogany injury created an immediate need, but I think Brad Holmes sees this as an opportunity to do something bigger, something that doesn't just patch a hole, but actually elevates us to another tier as a championship contender. And whether it's Bitonio, Teller, or both, I genuinely believe we're going to see some movement here that will excite every single Lions fan. Now, before we wrap this up, I want to hear from you. Do you think bringing in Joel Bitonio and Wyatt Teller makes sense for the Lions? Would you be willing to part with draft picks to secure one or both of these Pro Bowl guards? How much would this change your confidence in our ability to make a Super Bowl run? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I read every single one and I love hearing your perspectives on these moves. This is the kind of strategic thinking that separates good teams from great teams, and I truly believe Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are building something special here in Detroit. The pieces are in place, the culture is right, and now it's about making those final moves that push us over the top. If you want to stay updated on every development with the Lions, make sure you're subscribed to Lions News Fan Report, hit that like button, and share this video with every Lions fan you know. I'll be back with more updates, more analysis, and more exclusive insights into everything happening with our team. Until next time, one pride, let's go get that championship.